Hi guys, welcome back to rTech. In today's review, we are going to talk about ProAim's motorized curve and slide camera slider. I had previously purchased a ProAim Zeal manual slider. This one just takes it to the next level. I was able to capture some amazing shots with the slider, and we will see how well it does in terms of usability and setting it up and a lot of the other stuff. So let's dive right into it. As always, please do hit the subscribe button and the like button. Most of you guys are watching my videos but not hitting the subscribe button, so that doesn't let my channel grow. So please do hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. Thank you. So first of all, this comes in a dual setup mode. Basically, it's a manual slider out of the box, and they have the motor and the motorized section, which is given as a separate version. So you see two boxes here. The one on the top is the motor section. I'm going to just separate that out. Now, they have mentioned everywhere on the box that you have to be careful while cutting this open, because if you use a larger blade, it's going to end up slicing the bag or any other component inside. So just be careful with your knives. So this is my old ProAim 2 feet manual slider, and you can see how small this whole bag is in front of this huge 3 feet slider. Again, the bag has a similar color combination. I really like these carrying cases. They're really handy. So let's have this open. Inside, there is a lot of foam and packaging, which is a really good thing. And the slider is beautifully laid out in the middle. The carry-on strap is given inside. It's given even with the manual slider. I really don't use it, but they have it inside here. So here are the leg sections. All of it is metal except the turning knobs, and they have this cute rubberized spherical feet, which gives you good stability. The only issue here, which I foresee, is that if you want to put all of this back into the bag, you may have to end up removing those legs. Now, this slider feels a little lighter. That's because this is made of lightweight aluminum, whereas the manual slider is made of mild steel. By default, this is a manual slider. It comes with a 3/4 of an inch screw, mounting screw, and this whole unit is solid metal, including these high quality bearings. Check the brushed aluminum fasteners. I mean, these are on either sides, and at either end of the slider there are spirit levels. This curve and slide model is a dual slider, like I mentioned earlier. The moment you reverse it, it becomes a conventional straight slider. The whole thing is made with one single piece of aluminum. That's amazing. This is super lightweight, yet feels really strong and durable. It's already looking good, the slider. Now, this two aluminum knobs, which I spoke about earlier, one end of it acts as a brake. So the moment you tighten it, it slows the slider down. And the bigger knob, which you see here, helps you take off the unit completely from the sliding track. So this is completely toolless. You can just loosen this, turn the whole unit over, and fix the slider on top, and you're ready to go on the parallel side. So both sides can be used so quickly. So it's a really good feature. Coming back to the leg section, this unit has proprietary double-sided stands that needs basic fixing, and once you do that, they have a Allen key which is provided to you in the box, and once you do that, you don't have to keep taking this off just to flip the unit. It'll work on both sides. Fastening these screws holds up the legs very well. And you'll notice that there is this plastic knob that lets you adjust the position. So it's not about just turning it all the way around. You can even change the way the slider is placed on the floor. So I think it's been about 4 minutes into the video, and we've only seen the manual version. So let's take out the motorized section and get this mounted on this particular track. Again, be careful with your knife. A larger knife might cut some wires inside. So this one again has a lot of stuff inside. I mean, there's so many sections here in the foam. There's only a small card which talks about ProAim and how to go online and stuff. So first of all, there's an adapter. There are a few cables. This looks pretty much like a laptop power supply, but only thing it's a little smaller. So there's loads of wire. I think the wiring is long enough for you to reach at least 10 feet if you combine all these together. There's a 3-pin travel adapter. Here's the control device. It's all black, solid metal again. It has nice clicky buttons. There is a switch at the top which lets you turn this off and on. And there's a speed control knob on the left side of it. Everything is metal. There's an option to fix a battery at the rear, but it doesn't come with the battery. So you'll have to purchase that separately. Talking about accessories, there are plenty of them here. They provide an extra rubber wheel which is fixed on the motorized module. I'll show you that a little later. There is a lanyard so that you can hang the controller device on your neck. There's a 1/4 screw accessory. Overall, this is the motorized module. So this unit is all aluminum. You can see the motor towards the right side of the device. It's also got 2 spirit levels. So total you have about 4 spirit levels, and you'll not go wrong in terms of balancing this whole thing up. A similar fastening knob is provided on this unit along with the brake knob on the opposite side. The wire sticks out in a funny way, but that's how it is. There's a thin sheet of rubber. I mean, you can see the motor under that. It's just a sheet of rubber which protects the motor. At the rear, you can see this has got 2 solid high quality bearings along with 1 rubber wheel for the motor. So let's mount this on the slider. Now before you do that, ensure that you loosen this fastening knob. You'll have to pull the motor section slightly towards yourself. As it's held by tension, there's a spring inside which gives that tension. The unit won't sit properly unless you fasten the knob correctly. And remember, do not over tighten this knob. You may have to give this a slight nudge to get this in place, but you'll get the hang of it if you have this in front of you. But this thing, once you do everything, it feels really solid. So this central section on the slider can accept all kinds of equipment and cameras directly on it. You can have a fluid head mounted on it, which makes this more versatile. I'll show you that in a bit. You can also mount any kind of mobile holders or any other equipment you want to move along the slider. Now let's say you don't want to use the motorized section for whatever reason, right? You can pull the motor back and lock it into place and still use it as a manual slider. I don't see any reason to use this, but let's say you want to move the motor to the other end without operating it and you want to do it quickly, it's pretty useful to do that. This will accept any device which has a 1/4 or a 3/4 inch screw mounting capability. This can hold up to 5 kgs. I think the motor has a pulling capacity of 5 kgs, but otherwise without the motor, I think it can go much higher. The wiring, oh boy. Now with the motor, there's a lot of wires here. Initially, I connected this directly to the motor. Please do not do that. The length of the wires are pretty decent here. Quite long. I'm seriously telling you that this can reach up to say 10 feet without any extension pins. There is some proprietary pins here to connect the control unit, and you have to be a little careful with it. This is a 4-pin unit. I initially didn't know how to use this, but it's very simple. You just bring it close, give it a slight tilt, and this will snap into place. The unit consumes about 4.2 watts, which is pretty decent. Once you switch it on, you'll see 3 LEDs glow right in front of you. There's a power LED, there's a battery LED, and a mode LED. You only need to worry about the one which is blinking here, the green LED. So this indicates it's in manual mode, which means it is not going to operate the slider unless you keep holding either the left or the right slider button. Once you click the mode button again, there's only 2 modes. You'll see that the green light stops blinking. So once that stops blinking and it's steady, it means that your slider is in auto mode. So once it's on auto mode, the moment you press left or right, the slider will move at either ends without stopping. Once you move this knob, you'll notice that the unit moves. There's absolutely no stutter. This unit moves absolutely smooth. There is motor noise at higher speeds, but it's very usable. This unit will snap on once it reaches the corner, and that is done because it tries to save the motor from, overloading. This unit doesn't have an automatic stop. So you will have to ensure that you stop the slider once it reaches on either ends. So the motor continues to rotate even though it's reaching the corner, so you've got to be a little careful with that. At this price point, you can't expect an automatic cutoff. So to get it back into action once the motor reaches one corner, you'll have to just pull the motor unit a little bit towards you so that you can bring it back on the track. And this unit works really well when you operate it at moderate speed. I'm getting this unit off the track just to mount some accessories. So these bearings are really heavy. They feel of high quality. And this brake knob, I really don't see a point anyone's going to use this when they're using the motorized slider, because the tension of the motor helps hold this in place. You wouldn't really need the brakes here. So this is the fluid head section which I mounted from my tripod, and it fits really well here. It helps you take advantage of this motorized slider and probably shoot even better video. It sort of kind of helps you take these parabolic shots using the fluid head, and it gives you a chance to use more movements and angles as the slider moves along. Here's a sample of how this whole thing works with the fluid head. So as the camera slides along, you can focus it along with the movement. Of course, you need to have a little bit of practice, and this takes a little bit of time and effort initially. I'm just showing you what it can do, but I'm sure, once you master the art of this, it's going to be excellent. So there are a lot of accessories provided by ProAim. The lanyard is for the control unit, and yep, there's plenty of small Allen keys and extra screws to help you mount other devices. And this tiny camera here, this is just for the demonstration purposes. Of course, you can load cameras up to 5 kgs easily. Tripods. Now let's talk about tripods. A lot of people want to know whether this can be mounted on a tripod. Of course you can. And you really don't need 2 tripods, even though it's a 3-feet slider. Mounting this on a conventional tripod, which is not those heavy tripods for big video cameras, might be a challenge. It might damage your slider as well as your tripod. What I've done here is got this mounted on a light stand. Yes, this is a light stand, and it comfortably sits on it with just one central 1/4 inch screw. It holds up so well. There's no warping, and even if you put a little bit of weight on the corner, I think even if I drag it down using my hands, it doesn't topple. So this unit is called the Sony LS250 light stand. I'll leave links in the description below. So if you want a cheap tripod, and this also has height adjustability. It can't do a lower height. I think it starts with about 2.5, 3 feet. So if you're okay with that, it can take it up to about 5 feet, but I don't recommend taking your slider so high. So I would say take it to about 4, 4.5, 5 feet. So this unit doesn't shake, so it's really cool. Testing the movement, I was a little worried initially whether this unit will fall off, but it did not. So this is another suggestion for me. If you want something cheaper to mount your sliders on, not just this one, any other slider, you can get one of these light stands. They're much stronger and cheaper than a regular tripod. Unless of course you have the money to buy an expensive tripod. I also did some testing outdoors, and this holds really well, even with loads in the corner. Let me know what you guys think about this setup. Okay, now for some outdoor video test. I wanted to see how this will shoot something outdoors, so I mounted this on a wall without the legs. It sits pretty well. The wires are long enough to help me reach plug points very easily. If you have the extra bucks, you can pick up the battery pack. Makes it much more versatile. And this thing is certainly something. You can get some beautiful shots if you have a better location, of course. I was restricted in my home due to COVID, so I couldn't take this outside. So I'm just shooting it on my terrace. I'm using the outer curve here, which helps me take some big panoramic video shots. The camera would have done a better job if I had switched off the optical image stabilization. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes they don't really work well with sliders. This is amazing. Let's see some more shots. I've taken some product shots, some outdoor shots. Some are small items, some are products. I just want to give you an idea of how well this thing can shoot. If you're a producer, you can just use this for even more creative shots, like interviews, people sitting on a coffee table, large products, even cars. They look amazing shot with this. know most of the shots which I showed you here are not perfect. I don't have the best camera in the world, so these are shot with just a basic camera. It still does a good job. If you have a great camera, if you have a powerful mirrorless camera, you can do magic with it. So that's my review of the ProAim curve slider. I hope you like this video, and if you've enjoyed it, please do hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that. I'll leave links in the description below in case you want to buy this slider and some of the other accessories. Do check out ProAim's website for some amazing camera accessories. They really have the best equipment. Just one last tip before I leave. This bag is amazing, right? But every time you want to keep the slider back, if you have these foam sections inside, it's going to be really difficult for you to put this back, and it's going to take a while for you to fix those legs and do everything. So what I did was I just got rid of the foam section and I just dumped everything in the bag, and it fits very well. Again, you'll have to remove those leg sections, otherwise this thing is difficult to put inside. But this is a small hack. I mean, if you want to quickly pack this off and take it to some location, I think you should get rid of the foam protection for now. It will take you about 5 minutes to get this into shape if you pack it like this. So again, small tip from me. I hope this helps you, and once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Till then, bye bye.